NFL season is here, and the Lockdown Defense Sports Network welcomes you to another NFL season. We are here to give you a front row seat to the pulse of the NFL. Join us every Tuesday night as we break down the latest news, dissect the hottest headlines, and fire off fearless predictions that might shape the future of the league. From the locker room drama to game-changing plays, we're just not watching football, we're living it. As the entire hit squad with young RG Robert Garcia, Coach Mike Dub, the real AG Alex Givens, and yours truly, Coach Defense, joins forces with the NFL Nation Live crew, Ref Guru, Violator, and the Saudi pirate himself, Captain Jack Rackham. So buckle up, because this isn't your average recap. This is the Lockdown Blitz, where the takes are bold, the insights are gritty, and the passion runs deep. Let's go. To all my heavy hitters and lockdown defenders, welcome to the Lockdown Blitz. I'm your host, Coach Divas, alongside with me, the hit squad, young RG Robert Garcia, Coach Mike Dub, the real AG Alex Givens, and the NFL Nation Live crew, Violator, the man and myth and man himself. Gentlemen, what's happening? What's good in the hood? What's real in the field? What's happening out there, man? It is one step closer. We are 4 teams ready to go, getting ready to gear up for this conference championship matchup here, man. And it was another great playoff week, man. And of course, let's go around the room, let's get the vibe, quick check. Young RG Robert Garcia, good brother, what's going on out there?
Man, vibes are as high as they could be following a bounce from the postseason.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. If you haven't heard, Mike McDermott is now the offensive coordinator for the LA Chargers. So, yeah, we living good right now. So we doing real good, real big things out here for sure. Coach Mike Dub, good brother, what's going on out there? How you feeling out there? What's going on in Commander Land?
Doing good. You know, pretty quiet so far. You know, still trying to fill some holes on the coaching staff and everything like that. So right now we're in draft mode and we're just trying to wrap up the rest of the season and go on from there. So obviously it's a new coach in our division. Hate to see him being there. It's a tough guy in Harbaugh going with the Giants, but hey, listen, we'll keep this thing rolling and try to pick up the pieces in 2026.
Indeed.
Ain't nothing but a thing, Dub.
There it is.
Indeed. The real AG Alex Givens, what's going on over there? How you feeling in the Chiefs Kingdom today?
Hey, I'm feeling the same sentiments as Dub. We're in draft mode, slash down to get over the cap, and see what kind of additions we're making in the draft. But other than that, it's been a pretty sweet time to be a football fan. We've had 2 pretty pristine weekends of watching games across college and the NFL. So excited to see what this championship weekend has.
Indeed. Violator, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Good sir, how you feeling out there?
Feeling fantastic. Listen, congrats to you guys on nabbing McDaniel. I was hoping we could steal him for an OC, but hey, kudos to you guys, man, for nailing that down real quick. So, but I'm feeling good. We got a close-up look with our first pick, and I hope they don't screw that up.
You're right.
You talk about a weekend of championship football. That college game reminded me of a Super Bowl game. I mean, all out slugfest, heavyweight championship, all the celebrities in the house. Hey, it don't get no better than that, man.
Yeah, down to the wire too. Down to the wire. They didn't wait.
A sick touchdown run. That was like movie-esque. I'm like, damn.
Yes.
That was Friday Night Lights right there.
Yeah,
That's Mike Winchell, you know.
This is where the college football playoffs being expanded really prevails when you get a 10 seed Miami make it to the bowl, make it to the Natty, a home game, quote unquote for them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they hit it out of the park.
Seventh-year QB at the helm. I couldn't help but watching it though. Just feel like Notre Dame should have been there, though. That should have been Notre Dame.
That's what I said.
Listen, the funny thing,
really, it's subjective, man, because Miami played like they were number one.
Yeah,
right?
They did. Yeah. They did. They definitely did. So yeah, it was a slugfest for sure, and we got our money's worth all weekend for sure. All weekend, they can't complain about practically anything that happened outside of that. Maybe that 49ers game was a little bit of a snooze fest, but
that was one of those snoozes. There.
It did get an opening kickoff. That was sweet.
That was as exciting as it got.
Yeah,
right. That was the crux. So that was the climax of the whole night for that game.
Yeah,
they peaked in the first kickoff.
There you go. Crazy. But yeah, man. So this weekend was not without controversy, man. So we're gonna get into our first segment of the pod. We're gonna get into some headlines.
Hit Squad headlines.
All right, so we're going to talk about this Denver Bills game because there's a lot of buzz going on around the NFL league, the social media platforms, the analysts. A lot of people got a lot to say about that controversial call that happened, and then we even got Ref Brewer to chime in on this over social media airways, and I'll give you his take on how things went down and what his overall synopsis was. But yeah, it was interesting to say the least. I mean, they definitely decided to put their nose into the game at the wrong time for my money. But that's the NFL ref sometimes, man. You just gotta take the ebbs and the flows with it. But it was a rough one. It was a rough one, and I'm going to show you some still images first of what transpired and what unraveled in the playoff officiating for the divisional round. There was a controversial interception / catch between Brandon Cooks and I want to say it was Nate McMillan.
Yeah.
So there was kind of a bang play where Cooks came down with the ball initially. Looks like they wrestled with it, then doing the ground, and McMillan came away with it, and they awarded him the football, which set the social media waves in a blaze for sure. So here's the stills images of it, from top to bottom. And I find it interesting in this particular situation for my money is because in practically every case pass, in baseball and NFL, they say the tie goes to the receiver. Yes. So you can see in the first still, it appears that Brandon Cooks has the ball and the knee is down. Then McMillan falls on top of him. They got simultaneous possession once he's on his back after his knee was down. Then the third still, you can see on the bottom left here, they're still wrestling for it. And then when McMillan flips over, he is in the momentum and is tugging at the ball, jars the ball loose from that perspective. Great. So it's a crazy stretch of events. And I'm going to actually show it to you as well in a kind of a still image. We're going to show you that real quick here. Let me load that up here. But yeah, it's just an overall interesting, layout and how they officiated because, I've seen even DBs, much they hate to say it, they look at it from a perspective that they, they never seen it called in the DB's favor. They really didn't understand it. It was very weird to them that they ruled it in that fashion. So, so I didn't really get it. It's just interesting that they decided to call it that way at that particular point in time. Amongst other things, just a lot of weirdness, to say the least. A lot of weirdness, but yeah. Let me see if I can find the file. But yeah, let's go around the room and let's get everybody's opinion on why I find the file. And give me your opinion on it. Let's start with AG. How you feel about this particular call? What did you think about it in real time? I know we're all watching the games.
Yeah, man. So as I think I said in our chat in real time, as quote, an offensive-minded guy, and a pseudo Bills fan during that game, I 100% thought that was a Brandon Cooks catch. And even seeing it, I was like, I don't really get how they can call it not a catch, but then a pick by the the standards are supposed to look at. And I don't know if it was just, and I'd be curious to see what ref has to say about it. But after it was all said and done, I kind of assumed it was one of those things where it was called the pick, non-catch interception on the field, and they couldn't really see any evidence looking back at it to grossly overturn it. Because, I mean, looking at the still shots, you think, yeah, he has possession, he's down, but then it's like you don't know what the ball's doing, and as they're rolling over the top and it's kind of covered up. So maybe it was just one of those types of situations. But yeah, I thought it was a catch, and I was also perplexed as to how they just gave it to the Broncos. My only explanation could be that it's all fixed for Denver to win.
Yeah.
They didn't plan on the injury, though. The football gods didn't.
Right. That part. That part.
I heard it for 8 years, so
Yeah.
shoes on the other foot now.
Indeed. So yeah, that was definitely something that we didn't expect to get turned in that direction. I can't tell you what they was thinking. Obviously Taylor was thinking. I mean, I don't know what.
Yeah, right.
Definitely, Kev, that index card. I'll never forget that. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, and this is it in gift form in real time. Like, and what's funny about this situation is that you see the same exact bang play in the Rams game, and they called it Devontae Adams immediately down. Like he literally caught the ball, hit knee hit. They were trying to wrestle the ball away from him after his knee hit, and they called it a completed pass to him. So I guess my overall issue with this whole situation is that they don't officiate it consistently, and I think refs beef as well. There's a lot to be desired when it comes down to them officiating it fairly and officiating it consistently. If you're going to keep calling it one way and don't just up and turn it, and especially in a high stakes game like this essentially decided the game here. Because if he catches the ball here, the Bills are in control and they win the game most likely.
Oh yeah.
So you gotta put that into perspective as well. But yeah, I'm here to tell you, gentlemen, I didn't like just
man. Buffalo just gets screwed in
like
just so many unique ways.
What Ref just said though, either caught it or is down by contact. So both of those happen and they still overturn it.
Right.
So that's the inconsistency that drives us crazy.
Exactly.
He survived the ground. He caught the ball, survived the ground, knee is down, so he's automatically down by contact.
Yep.
Then he rolls over and it's all different. Oh, that's an interception. Get out of here.
Indeed.
But anyway.
Yeah. So anybody else? I'm going to show Ref's tweets here too, by the way. So he is in the building, by the way, if you're listening in the chat. But just a weird dynamic. In all honesty, weird dynamic. In all honesty, I don't understand. Oh, that's McDermott's fire. Where's rest? Okay, I didn't put it up there. I'm tripping. Okay.
I'm like Alex said. They got this out for Denver to win going all the way. So.
It's the only explanation, really.
Yeah, right.
When you boil it all down.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I'm curious to know if instead of it being an interception, if he would have dropped the ball or if the ball would have hit the ground, say at the same time that the defender came up with it, if instead of that would have happened, if the ball would have hit the ground, would you guys be okay with it being incomplete, or would you still say he caught it and was down by contact? The ball came out after his knee was already down.
I think down by contact would overrule anything that happened after that.
Yeah.
Because if you're making the argument that as soon as his knee is down, anything that happens subsequently after that, it's if the defender rips the ball out, or if he lets go of it, at that point he's already down. But the only thing I can see, and I'm not even trying to play devil's advocate here, I fully agree with you guys. I think this should have been a catch by Cooks down by contact. The only argument you could make that this play or this ruling stands on is if you're saying they both simultaneously caught the ball as they're tumbling, nobody has possession of it, and then as they come away from the tumble, McMillan comes away with the ball. That is the only explanation for that, because any other explanation for that, it's Bill's ball down at the, what was it, like the 12 or whatever?
Yeah, it was close. Definitely red zone.
They're winning the game.
Yeah, exactly. They're winning the game.
Exactly. So you can see on the screen here, Ref had a few things to say. He said, first of all, to the network handle, he said a few things about the Buffalo-Denver game. The game was not called evenly. I mentioned that I didn't think the field judge should be officiating in the playoffs. he shouldn't have a job in the ASFL. I can tell you that. And the NFL has an issue with surviving the ground nonsense. That's part one.
Yeah.
Part two is as a comparison, a car has to stop at a crosswalk when people are in the crosswalk. But when you don't have to wait until they get home to proceed. The NFL can't use the down by contact and then say Cooks didn't make a catch. Go down with possession, and then Denver gets the ball, essentially. So, he definitely had an issue with how it was called on the field. And that was the only one, for, he have a long litany, CVS receipt like litany of examples of them giving it to the offensive player. And this one particular one that decided a football game in the playoffs, decided who goes to the next round. It's a rough one, man. It's a rough one. And you just
crucial time.
Yeah, fuel to the fire about the conspiracy theories and said the NFL is rigged and the betting aspect of it. You got a lot of those things that's going to clearly keep coming up because you keep having these issues.
You keep seeing them too. So it's not like they keep coming up. They're there all the time. We're spotting them. And even the broadcasters mention that. They're like, usually that play goes to the offensive guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's rough watch. Definitely a rough watch.
Yeah, I wish Ref was here for this question. And I'll ask this again, in the future. But it might have been brought up already, but it's just weird to me that refereeing is not a full-time job. Well, it's a full-time job, but they have other careers and other things that they do. Right. So I'm curious if people, if Ref or other people in the community think that plays a part in the lack of consistency, just because it's not a 12-month, 20, you know what I mean? Like, just like players have off seasons and things like that, I would think that, the officiating for the NFL could use the off season to kind of get on the same page as far as, consistency. Because honestly, that's really what it comes down to. It's not all the time. And coach, this coaching the game. Sometimes we don't even necessarily care about what was called. We just care about it being called both ways. Yeah. So being called so that we know as long as it's consistent, you can coach to it. And when it's not consistent, you don't know how to coach to it. So, whether it was ruled a catch, whether it was ruled down by contact, interception, whatever, I think everybody would be able to digest it a little bit more if it wouldn't be called, 16 different ways in 32 different games, you know what I mean? Or whatever the case is. So, you know what I mean? Like really, if this play happened in every game, it could be called either way. So I'm just curious. So
Yeah.
So for this to be, for this to be a $billion, multi-billion-dollar industry, how do we not have full-time officiating?
It's a side hustle for the refs,
Yeah, that's kind of.
Hey, Tom, I got to get out of here. I got a divisional game Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right. From the
just have that report to me by Monday, Bob. Yeah, will do.
TPS report.
Yeah. What are you doing on the Peterson account?
There you go. Right.
Yeah, it's so awkward to me. So yeah, I'm wondering why that's the case, why it hasn't been changed, and if there any future for it to happen, and going forward. But we'll see.
Yeah, and like I said, we'll get clarity with Ref. In the future, we got some off-season coverage to do with him as well in regards to refereeing. But just from what our conversation throughout the season, I can kind of summarize what I feel like he's been saying is that it's a lot of problems here. It's not just one monolithic thing that you can do to correct the issues, right? He talked most recently about the fact that the referees being selected in the playoffs aren't, their normal crews. They're selected from different areas, so they haven't worked together at all throughout the season, most likely. So that's a problem, in my opinion. Not having the same continuity or consistency or synergy with the group you've been working with all season long. I think that's a problem. The fact that they aren't full time isn't a problem as well. And the fact that, he harps on training, like regardless of being full-time or not, if they don't have the proper training and use the proper tools and use the proper, technology to officiate these things properly, it's not going to pan out to be a better, officiating game. So I think that's the, biggest, top three problems that they have right now in officiating as a whole, but yeah.
And like you say, for as big an industry as the NFL is, and with all the resources, some of these refereeing crews look like they went to YouTube right before warm-up and
how to. Yeah.
Right.
How to ref a playoff game.
What is PI?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, shit. Oh, crap. I should have called that earlier. I'll do it now.
You're right. Yeah.
Let me leave this with another. Oh, my bad.
No. But because even if they come from different areas or they haven't worked together, football is not like working a trigonometry, problem. It's what you seeing, and you know the basic rules that apply to what you see. And between 7 guys, you can't get it right. I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. Yeah.
And you got 7 guys plus.
Anybody got anything else on the topic?
I was just gonna leave the topic with
you got New York
question.
Assists and the 7 refs.
That's what I was going to say. You know, we've seen times this year where the home office is called down to change a call. You know, especially on turnover type plays to give the ball back, and we did not see that happen in this game. Why not?
It's a high stakes game at that. That's the crazy part. This isn't week 8. This is the divisional round, win or go home. This is all the marbles in a pressure cooker game. It was a tight game. We literally decided, who can advance. It really put Denver back into it, allowed them to get the ball back. So,
and I think the thing that was most upsetting too was it'd be one thing if the refs were calling the game tight all game long, but you're letting them play for 3.5 quarters, and then or let me take that back. Really. Yeah, I was gonna say you're letting them play like that for 4 quarters. Then you get to OT and you're like, well, we're gonna switch it up here. It's like, nah, man, you got to keep it consistent. If you're calling it tight early, keep it going the rest of the way. If you're letting them play early, let them play the whole game. What's with this switching up in the middle of the game? I'd be pissed if I'm a player too. I'm like looking at the refs like, hey, you're letting me push them around for 4 quarters, and now we get to OT when our money needs to be made, and now you want to call exactly.
Yeah, that's the problem I have. And as a player and a coach, I would have a problem with it on both sides. And I get it. Now we're going to talk about him next, but Sean McDermott had a right to be mad. Because they expedited the review. They didn't, because all turnovers are reviewed clearly, so they had to be reviewed. Somebody reviewed it. So I'm going to say that the NFL at least kind of looked at it, but they didn't essentially look at it, because we can see from the replays in the slow mo that we watched, it was way more nuanced than just outright just going what was called on the field. Right. So that's the problem in itself. So you quickly, brushed it off and reviewed it, just kind of brushed it and said, we're going to go with what was called on the field, trying to make it seem like you're right. You want to keep it going as far as you being right with the call. And then, the fact that you didn't, you didn't look deeper into it. And the players, like you said, we've been hand fighting, pushing, shoving, doing all this kind of thing. And I'm thinking the game's going one way and he's been officiated one way, and you completely pull the rug out from under me, in overtime of all places. It seems shady. I mean, if I'm Sean McDermott, I'm like, it seems shady. And I'm going to say it, especially why not, stand on it, because he's going to get fired anyway, obviously. So stand on it and say that this isn't right. And they definitely should. They got it wrong, and they should have looked more into it. At least, if nothing else, reviewed it to microcosm level, and then decide. Don't just brush it off as if it was what it was, and we're just not gonna review it. Like it doesn't matter. Like it is not all or nothing here. It's really a lot of money on the line. So
jobs are on the line. Clearly,
yes, clearly, clearly, exactly. And speaking of that, talking about people's job on the line, it's then, Sean McDermott got fired, behind this. And I think he knew it. And I think that, because this is rumblings. We did rumblings that he was going, if he didn't get it done this year, he was going to be out. And I think he knew that. And I think Josh and them knew that. And that's the reason why they were so upset about it after the fact. They just knew that things were going to be different, things were going to change. So, Josh Allen, obviously upset at the podium. Deion Dawkins, McDermott hot with the media. So they knew that, with it being so wide open, them being, have a clear path to the Super Bowl, and them feeling they got robbed, although they did, didn't do themselves with any favors with 5 turnovers. Exactly. It's a rough one. So, y'all tell me how y'all feel about this firing. Like I said, we definitely called it throughout the season that, if it did, land anywhere but the Super Bowl, it might be a changing of the guard. So give me your takes on this particular conversation, and, what do you think the next move is for them? Let's start with RG.
Yeah, this is a rough one, because this is similar to the Ravens and Harbaugh and Steelers and Tomlin. The Bills, up until Sean McDermott got there, and then a year later, Josh Allen, had just a history of misery in the postseason. Stemming back to those obviously 4 Super Bowls in a row, not winning a single one, nor would wide right. I don't even have to bring it all back up, but up until that point, like I said, it was a history of misery. McDermott comes around, breaks that 16-year playoff drought, and then he gets Allen. Rookie Allen is pretty raw. There's a lot of potential there, though, and you could see the potential there, absolutely. And now they go on this, insane playoff run, and here comes Allen winning an MVP last year. So many good things that went right for them and really turned this franchise around as far as how the NFL views them. That all being said, this move needed to happen. There was just too much rumbling, or under the surface. And when your offense isn't the reason and your head coach is a defensive-minded guy, I mean, it's like going back to, again, the Lamar and Harbaugh. Who are you going to pick? A 50, 60-something-year-old head coach or a 20-something-year-old MVP quarterback? It's a pretty easy decision at the end of the day.
Yeah. Great point. It's a great point. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. Again, you keep running back doing the same thing, is the definition of insanity, right?
Yep.
So yeah, if they do I guess you can say they'll have any drop off or they improve from here, depending on what the coach is, it's gonna be telling for McDermott that he was just getting stale. In a sense, because again, him being defensive coordinator, defensive coach, defensive-minded head coach, his defense weren't, up to snuff in a lot of cases.
No.
They had some misgivings in that space too. So, injuries aside, they had some schematic problems there. So, that definitely was a red flag as well. Not to mention that it seems as he was at odds with Brandon Beam because they fired McDermott and they elevated Brandon Beam to a higher role. He got a higher paycheck.
That was a mistake, by the way.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, I'm seeing reports too that he got fired because he criticized the roster and was like, basically said to Bean and the owner, like, this is not a Super Bowl roster. And they didn't like that. So
yeah.
Probably decided from there, like, he's either going to make it or he's out. We'll find,
yeah, pretty much.
We'll find out.
Bust for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Pretty much it. What you got, Dub, on the topic? Do you feel like they were justified? Do you feel like they made the right move?
I'm all right. So I'm going to put on my cap hat right now and give, I guess, a little history lesson.
Okay.
But this, I think what the Bills could see and what this reminds me of is Tony Dungy and the Buccaneers in the early 2000s. And where I think what settled it and what made them pull the trigger is because they probably have a candidate that they have there that they feel like could take this team to the next level, and which I would assume maybe Brian Daboll, local guy, obviously had history there. And I think that, all those things that you guys talked about, of course, played a factor in it, but the deciding factor was, I really just think that it's a grass is greener type thing where I think we have somebody that could be just an overall better fit. They're starting a new stadium next year. What better to start it with a fresh start? I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them with new uniforms, just a whole new rebrand. You know what I mean? Like let's get the local kid. You know what I mean? So, what could that mean for, of course, it's still a business. So what could that mean for jersey sales, new fans, new all this other stuff like that? This isn't the same old Bills that have been to 4 different, Super Bowls that can win, that have been to the playoffs and keep losing them up. Like, they want to completely rebrand so that people are not giving them that moniker of the team that can never get it done. And I think in order for them to do that, they feel like they have to just start from scratch with the head guy, still keep the same, culture and team, which is why it's not a complete shape up. They're bringing in somebody who has familiarity with the team. And I don't know, it just reminds me of that situation. I remember, being a kid and thinking, how would they fire a coach that's been winning and been to the playoffs and the winningest coach and recent his took them from not being relevant to now being a perennial winner. And honestly, as you get older, you see things. I think they see a coach that they may love, and who knows, it might not be Daboll, but either way, I think that this is grass is greener type of thing, and I think they want a fresh start with the organization while they can, because they don't have to reshape the whole roster. They have their quarterback, they have their core. So while they have that, I think they want to try to strike while the iron is hot. And, of course, who knows what the AFC is going to look like next year. They may have, they may be able to face the AFC without Mahomes again, Lamar with a new quarterback, so you never know. I think they want to, their goal is definitely Super Bowl. So they're trying to find somebody who can take him over the top as soon as possible.
I like it. And Josh Allen getting great. He turned 30. So, he's in the apex of that prime. So, yeah, you might want to strike while the iron's hot. That's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I called a day ball move too. So just put that back in the stratosphere. So we'll see. Now that Charles got Mike McDaniel, I would love for him to go to Buffalo and see what happens there, because Josh Allen absolutely loves Brian Daboll. He said it multiple times. So it'll be a good fit. We'll see if they pull the trigger though. All right, AG, you up? How you feel about this move, and what do you think they're going to do next?
Yeah, man. Mike Dove actually took one of my talking points. Damn it, on the history lesson. But no, I mean, I agree with that. Like what RG said. It's certainly just seems odd when you look at it on paper, but it was a move that needed to happen just with how the team and how things were going year in and year out. And I think like the Dungy situation, move on to Gruden, or like, more recently, like Denver firing John Fox for Kubiak. Like they just needed that guy. Like they found the coach to set the culture and set the standard, but they need to find the guy to kind of get them to that next level, over the championship hump, if you will. And that's why I mean, when I first saw the firing, I'm like, well, who's the plan? Like, I mean, as everyone says, like, don't move on from a routinely successful coach unless you have a pretty solid plan in place. And I'm like, at this time, I mean, the big market items like Harbaugh, the big names like that are kind of out of it. So I agree with the Daboll assessment from the fact that it's familiarity and someone who Josh Allen was very successful with, and is kind of the flip side of McDermott was the defensive minded guy. Like, let's go with an established offensive guy and see what kind of new flavor that brings. But yeah, I mean, their window is only getting smaller, so they have to do something while they're still in it before they're on the outside looking in.
That's for sure. I'm even okay with the idea of elevating Joe Brady, because he's in line for a head coaching gig. They're interviewing for a head coaching gig, so why not keep him in house and keep him and Josh together and just elevate him to OC, and head coach, and him finding a teaching OC that he can groom and find a defense coordinator and go back to work. We'll see what they do, but I mean, I like either one of those options. If they pull a trigger on either one, I think it's a pretty good move.
Yeah, keep Joe Brady and hire Raheem Morris as your DC, and now you're cooking.
Let's go. Let's go.
I mean, it's definitely got to be the best available job now. No, I mean, between them and Ravens, but
yeah,
the Ravens.
I guess it's pick your poison. Which MVP quarterback do you want to work with? But
yes, I think that's 1A, 1B, and then the Steelers will be 2 in that conversation. Yeah. Okay. All right, Violator, how you feel about this conversation? Do you think they made the right move? And you got any sneaky guys that might think they will take the job if they don't go with the guys we mentioned?
What I'm looking at, gentlemen, is an exorcism.
Oh,
yes. With all the talk about not having, Lamar, Mahomes, and Joe Burrow in the mix of that playoff championship and making that next step, and all the pressure from the fan base, because that's where I was hearing it from all season, from the fan base, that this guy ain't getting the job done, but they've been successful now, but that wasn't good enough. So be careful what you wish for. To me, it was an exorcism, and it's easier to move a coach than your all-star player. That ain't happening.
Yeah.
So he was just that head that had to roll. They'll figure it out. But they had to do something to like put a pacifier in the fan base mouth, so to speak. That's just the way I'm looking at it, man. But
I hear you.
And like I say, talk about Brian Daboll, who's been there, who has that relationship with Josh Allen, but that guy's been there, and you've got qualified guys. Joe Brady, I'm talking about. Just promote him. Now, this other guy that got promoted to VP president of
football operations.
Like,
Yeah.
what the hell was that? That's a title. That's giving him a raise that puts a pelt on the wall like we're doing something. But I was hearing that McDermott was on the hot seat way back early in the season from some Buffalo fans. And I'm like, but you guys have got a good team. I'm looking at our team in retrospect to theirs. What the hell are you guys complaining about? Only thing I saw in their armor that was weak was the defensive side of the ball. And maybe that was why he was on the hot seat, so to speak. But the whole talk about Josh not getting over the hump without the other three alphas in the room, you got an exorcism that took place.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that worked, if they got all those bad spirits out. We'll see come next season.
I definitely agree.
Coach is usually the first scapegoat, That's the process before you start running out of excuses.
Right.
And it goes to the guy you paid the money to. Yeah.
Not the head coach, though. That's, especially a successful guy. And I'm like, wow.
I was kind of thinking, too, as I was talking about, which of the jobs is more attractive. It's like, I mean, how many times in league history have we seen two teams that are consistently in the playoffs and have MVP quarterbacks are in search of a new coach? Like, I feel like this is like uncharted waters.
Yeah, you might be right.
And I feel like all
some ripples around the league. Trust me.
Yeah.
I feel like all three of these head coach openings happened differently too. Like Ravens, it was he didn't want to keep, or they wanted him to get rid of his OC. He stuck to his guns, so they said sayonara. Tomlin, mutually or stepping away to pursue TV or whatever he wants to do. I feel like really in this case, this was a straight up firing, because Josh Allen has to carry a boatload of blame for this. 4 turnovers. You fumbled the ball 3 times, lost 2 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, you lost to a second-year quarterback. Now, I feel like nobody had this been Herbert, Mahomes, Lamar, any other of these superstar quarterbacks, Matt Stafford, any of these other big guys, if they're losing to a second-year quarterback, they are getting ridiculed to no end.
That way too, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, when they turn the ball over 4 times,
zero ball,
including a points. That was a 6-point fumble, taking yourself out of field goal range and giving the Broncos the ball in field goal range.
That part. And that goes to David Tyree's question about Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson not being able to win big games. I mean, you got to wear that. I mean, they hammer, you and I both know, RG, they hammer Herbert for his playoff performances. Every time, people will question and ridicule Lamar winning his MVPs, and I still stand on the fact that Lamar got robbed of that third one from Josh because they wanted to give it to somebody else. Yeah. They just wanted to see a fresh face win their award because they was, quote unquote, tired of the LeBron treatment. The same guy winning the award. So I feel like, you can't have your best statistical season of your career after winning 2 MVPs and lose it to a guy that had a lesser season than you. So I think you need to wear some of that blame. So yeah, to that point, they have issues winning big games. And I think that anybody outside of you, if your name isn't Joe Burrow and that miraculous Super Bowl run he made, although he didn't win it, Matt Stafford or Jalen Hurts or Mahomes, those 4 guys, they don't typically struggle in the playoffs. They're the only ones that don't. Everybody else has issues. Trevor Lawrence struggled, Josh Allen struggled, Lamar Jackson struggled, Justin Herbert struggled. I mean, you name it. All the quarterbacks that are in the top 10 that wherever you rank them, if they got into the playoffs and they've had struggles. So yeah, until you do win it, because Peyton Manning and a bunch of other quarterbacks, went through this. The only person that really didn't go through a lull in winning playoff games was Tom Brady. He's like the only one. He's the only one that didn't have an issue.
Came on the stage and did not leave.
That part. And so he was done. So yeah, I do believe that these guys had, but you have to dole out the criticism equally. You can't have Josh Allen be your darling and say he's above reproach, but all these other guys aren't. That's a problem. That's definitely a problem. So yeah, so you ask you the question, David, it's definitely an issue. And they can't win games until you do it. And again, you can't keep running this whole Superman thing back with Josh Allen either. He's not getting any younger, and the more hits he takes, the less time you're going to have him. You thinking you might get 2 more years out of it? Might be 5 at this rate.
Not at the rate he's running.
Maybe 5. Maybe 5. But that cape's definitely got some holes in it, so he don't fly as much.
And right, exactly. It definitely get some chinks in that armor for sure. That's for sure. So yeah, we'll see how things roll. But I got anything else on this topic before we move on?
Good luck, McDermott. No. Somebody's gonna pick him up.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, so I think he'll find a job. It's just a question of who. I mean, he might be a lower end team.
Be a DC somewhere.
Yeah. DC will coach the Browns, but
maybe the Titans. Or no, never mind. They got solid out. Yeah, maybe the Cardinals. Maybe the Cardinals. Yeah,
right. You think they fired the wrong guy, Josh? Really? You think they should fire the GM?
I think probably, or both of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bro. I don't know how can you come away from a season and be like, this was a failure. We're going to fire this guy because it was so much of a failure. But somehow this guy gets a
promotion.
Right. You get a promotion.
He gets a promotion. Yeah, he gets a promotion. That's crazy.
And I can see the owner calls them both in. They're both shitting their pants. And he's like, Brandon, you've done a great job. You're now the VP of whatever. Sean, Sean, clear your desk.
In the office, though. You got some politics.
Yeah, in the office. Yeah, he's got some blackmail or something.
Whatever he's doing,
he got some emails. Yeah.
Listen, whatever he's doing, Joe Shane taught him. Because how the hell is Joe Shane?
Seriously.
Yeah, how the hell
to the point he's becoming a sticking point of hiring a Hall of Fame coach. And you're getting news of they haven't finalized it because of Joe Shane. Right. I'm like, what?
But he still wouldn't fire him. They made it so they worked it out where he reports tomorrow. So he don't report to Shane. He reports tomorrow, but he's still there.
Did you guys see the press conference introducing him, and Joe Shane just it just seemed so awkward.
It was.
I know all you guys know this man wanted to be fired, but we're really glad to have him.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good one too, David. If Vrabel probably damn near going to be in the Super Bowl in 1 year is a definitely
1 year
as well.
That's the fork in the road that we're at with Buffalo, because Tennessee was consistently in the playoff. Hell, they were 1 win away from the Super Bowl with Vrabel running them. Yeah. And now they're looking for their second coach, since firing him. So
just to show you the dysfunction that is protruding from Tennessee.
They put the funk in dysfunction. That's
there we go.
Yeah. And nobody has patience anymore.
That part. That's it.
No time to build anything. You got to be successful early, and then that buys you maybe a year.
You got to walk in with wins.
What did Paul Sales say back in the day?
Yeah.
Paul Sales had a line.
Yeah.
You got to let me pick out the grocery if you want me to, cook the food or something like that.
Yeah. Now you got to walk in with the dish already made on the hot plate. Yeah.
Microwave.
Yeah. You got to walk in with 10 wings in your pocket, or you're fired. That's it.
Look, you made me think about Coach Carroll with that speech, that rah-rah. I always win 10 games. Oh, my God. That did him in right there.
That it did. For sure. Okay. All right, so let's break down these divisional games. Let's talk about the playoffs in its entirety. So we're going to get to, I think we talked about the Broncos game in nauseum already, so we'll just skip that one. As you know, with 33-30, the Broncos pulled out the victory, but Nick's got hurt, so they're going with Jared Stidham against the Patriots. So we'll talk about it in a minute in regards to how we feel about that. But let's start with the Patriots. Talk about Vrabel and the Texans, right? They rattled CJ Stroud's cage to 4 interceptions. So brutal, man. Talk about brutal. But yes, let's talk about the Texas game first and foremost. Let's lead off with that. RG, tell us about this game. What was your overall takeaway from it? We'll piggyback off what you're talking about.
Yeah, I got 2 major takeaways from this one, and one of them's kind of obvious. One of them kind of was cemented in this game here, and they kind of go hand in hand. So the first one is CJ Stroud is absolutely trash in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Minus his.
I don't even know if you got to put that caveat on it now.
I was gonna say minus his first playoff game, because he legitimately did play well in that first wild card game.
That's savage. Have you guys seen the meme of them it says CJ Stroud in the playoffs and it's Whoopi Goldberg? Have you seen that? Dude, that's so savage.
Right. Did they put Russell Wilson's head on his body too? Did I see that?
Yeah. They're doing him dirty, man.
Russell Westbrook, Russell Wilson, one of them.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's so bad, and I never want to hear anything about Herbert throwing 4 picks in a game. He didn't throw them in a half. All right, he might have spread them out throughout the entirety of a game.
Right.
I mean, you basically put your team away doing that in a half. I know people are going to bring up the Jacksonville game. Shut up, all right? We're not talking about Jacksonville.
Cap's not here. He might be all right.
Yeah.
That was Trevor Lawrence's game. He threw 4 picks in that game.
No, I'm saying, but he threw because I'm saying you can't throw 4 picks and a half and expect to come back. But again, we're not going to talk about it.
No.
Again, I mean, it's just inexcusable. I mean, if the Texans get any semblance of offense, any, they are Super Bowl contenders and probably favorites.
Yes,
if we're being totally honest, I'm taking them over. I'm taking them over the Seahawks if they have a competent offense. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And my second takeaway is this Patriots defense is for real, and Mike Vrabel is a hell of a head coach.
I respect. I listen. I wasn't, as Shaq would say, I'm sorry, Mike Vrabel, I wasn't familiar with your game.
Facts.
I gotta give respect where respect is due. He definitely has befuddled the last 2 opponents he's facing in the playoffs, and caps off to him. Because that kid with the respect meme, I gotta give respect where respect is due, because he definitely did it. And it's going to continue. I mean, I don't see him not rattling backup quarterback in Jerry Stidham's realm, but we'll see. It definitely hurt. Not having Nico was definitely thing.
But they had Nico last.
I don't know if that would have helped.
Yeah,
they couldn't run the ball.
Might have thrown 5 picks.
Right,
trying to force one.
Right. Yes, indeed. So yeah, it's an interesting one, but yeah, the Patriots, and again, I kind of shitted on them with their schedule and how light it was and how they didn't face anybody. It didn't matter. Clearly, didn't matter. They definitely showed up, and whoever they facing, they come in and they play, their brand of football, and they're just going to do what they're told. Like, it's one of those things where they're so young, they don't know, any better. You're just doing what Vrabel tell them, and it's working. That kind of thing.
It's funny you say that, Coach. They don't know, and they just do what they learned. And that's one of the few teams where you have a new coach in, but they didn't have to reshape the wheel, because it's still the Patriot way.
It is.
You still got Josh McDaniels there. And you still got, Mike Vrabel there. So, and there's no telling. I'm sure they probably have other assistants and other people that are it's the Patriot way. So, as much as we wanted to say, the dynasty ended and all that stuff like that, it's done. But I think that culture is still there. You know what I mean? And
we're in the new
means
trilogy of it.
Right.
That's it.
The Skywalker saga.
Right.
Yeah.
We were the prequels to the
It sickens me.
Yeah, it's the original. Episode 4 through 6.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. All right. So any other takeaways from this game anybody wants to add before we move on to the next?
I'm going to piggyback what Robert just said about C.J. Stroud. And I watched him closely because that was my main concern going into this game. The kid gets rattled easily.
He does.
And you can see it. And if I'm sitting 3 feet across the line from him, you're looking in his eyes, and every now and the camera he's like a deer in headlights, because he's seeing so much and he's almost in panic mode before the ball snapped.
Mm-hmm.
And New England went right after him, right off the gut. Just sort of like in the college game where they set the tone. It's going to be this kind of day. And he was already wrinkling up like a plastic in the oven, just wrinkling up.
Yeah, wow. That's a good one.
They didn't have a chance, man.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I'd say one sneaky thing about, it's a little bit football nerdish take what I'm going to give, but C.J. Stroud is, although he is a mobile quarterback, he wants to be and loves to work from the pocket. And from a mechanics perspective, he has to and wants to be set when he throws. His all-platform throwing, he does not like to do it.
Yeah.
So the fact that he is being thrown off his spot by, consistent pass rush, and his O-line isn't doing many favors and being banged up and porous throughout the year was, clearly, messing with his confidence level, because, again, if I'm clean in a pocket and I can step and throw, my balls are accurate. Pause if needed. If I don't, my throws are off kilter. I throw interceptions. I throw incompletions. I'm inaccurate. So that's what C.J. Stroud needs to improve on, his off-platform throwing. Because in this league, the way pass rush works nowadays, interior and edge, you're going to get pressured. So you got to be able to, and the quarterbacks that make money in this league can throw off platform and can throw, balls that don't necessarily have to be feet set, arm straight, torque from the hip type of, vibe. So if he can't get that straight, he's going to continue to struggle because people are going to understand the book on him now that if I can get him off his spot, he's ineffective.
Yeah. And I think they definitely knew that because you could see it, later in the game too, and they're trying to push the ball downfield and nothing was there, and he'd have to throw it check down, and he wasn't set, and it'd be like a wild. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many times we saw him throw it just high, just a little too high, or just a little too left, and not get the completion. But I think at some degree too, you have to call this, malpractice for the Texans staff because I mean they had an All-Pro left tackle in the building, and then clearly had what? This was Stroud. Is this his third year, fourth year?
Third
year. So they had 2 years of work to see what type of quarterback he is, and they've seen what he does and decide, let's make our O-line worse and just draft a bunch of fast receivers and see what happens.
7-on-7 right there.
Right. With a platform throwing QB, you don't have a mobile throwing QB. You have a platform throwing QB, and you're gonna diminish his O-line. That makes a lot of sense.
I think David Mills would have performed a little bit better under that pressure.
You might be right.
I wondered that watching the game. I mean,
somebody said it. I think the commentator said it. Say, if he keeps up this, performance, they might think about going with Davis Mills. Just try to keep him in the game. Because he did win us some games when Stroud was hurt.
Quick question to y'all: would y'all have started Mills at halftime?
I don't know.
It's a lot of politics in that. It's a lot of politics.
Playoffs. That's making a statement, man. You do that in the divisional game, you're moving on that offseason.
And then also, like, if you win that game, you can't
gotta
go back
to Stroud. Because then it's like, well, what do we do?
I think you got to live or die with CJ because he's your franchise guy, quote unquote. So I think you got to dance with the girl.
That's probably why they didn't do it. Because it's like, man, if we do, it's not week 7. On the road, I can't say, oh, he's a little banged up. Like, I mean, everyone's gonna know. CJ's gonna know. Like, you bench me in the playoffs.
I feel like that's biting your nose to spite your face. Though it's like we're gonna go down with the ship. Even
I ain't saying it's right.
That's tell it like it is, right? Yeah, I agree. It is, but again, it's a confidence level thing. It's a personality thing. If you bench, this isn't Bryce Young benching him in the season. This is the playoffs, high stakes, win or go home. If Davis Mills goes out there and balls, you have to clearly start him in the next game. You have to.
I want to see the universe where Davis Mills goes out there and turns that game around.
Wins it. Yeah.
I know, right? Multiverse type shit. Yeah.
Well, after CJ performance, don't you think David Mills is thinking that in the back of his mind? I can beat this guy out.
That's what he went home, told his kids at dinner.
Right.
Just put me in.
Daddy started
because the fact remains, I mean, despite the 4 picks, they were in that game up until, pretty close to the end.
Their defense that time,
like I said, Stroud keeps getting the defense's way.
Take the pick 6 away, you're within what, 5 points?
Yeah. So
it's rough. Again, there's a lot of politics. I mean, you took him second overall. You got to ride with him. Back in the guy you took in the 4th, 5th round, you can't do it. Not in the playoffs. You do it in the regular season. Not the playoffs.
Bryce Young had
one more season, right? Under that contract that he's in.
Yeah, he got a 5th-year option too because he's a first-round pick. So he got this year and next year potentially.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Bryce Young had a better playoff run, and he only played 1 game.
Oh my God.
I did see hella tweets after the game of like, well, at least the Panthers figured out they were right. I'm like, damn. That's crazy how the world turns, man. Just 2 years ago, they fired Frank Reich just because of how good CJ Stroud was looking, and
literally.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. All right. So, any other final takeaways from this game before we move on to the next?
Patriots, I hope you enjoy playing against those trash O-lines because this next one you're going up against is anything but trash.
That's for sure. They're definitely going to give you them all that and then some, for sure. All right, so let's talk about the Bears and the Rams. Actually, let's get the nonsense out the way, Dub. Let's talk.
Okay,
Come
Get it out the way real quick, and then we'll talk about the Rams and Bears at the end.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I mean, it was one of the snoozers. And I mean, there's a few things you could point to that kind of led to this thing getting out of hand. Obviously, the opening kickoff, going against this team in that stadium to give them that momentum. You're already, now they got the 12th man going crazy. You start out the game, down 7 before you even hit the field. It's it's just a bad situation to be in. Then the 49ers get the ball on their first possession, and they go for it on the 4th down, and they call this like an option, a triple option with use check or something like that. Like it's just they're just trying to get too cute. You know what I mean? And now you get turn over the ball on downs. So it was just a few different things that led to that. Then also they go in, they got a big turnover. Listen, it was an ugly game, and all it was to me, it was just symbolic of a team that they ran out of gas. You know what I mean? They're like they're missing Ayuk, they're missing Kittle, they're missing Fred Warner, they're missing Bosa. How do you come on, man? Like it gets more and more, and I'm sure I'm missing some players that that they're missing as well. Yeah. But just if you rattle off those names, you can clearly see chemistry wasn't there. They couldn't really get going offensively. Look, I think this might have been McCaffrey. He had to be probably 80 to 85% of their offense that they generated at all.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, you can't sustain that in the playoffs against a divisional opponent that's seen you twice, that was well rested, that was well prepared in their home stadium. It was just too much that was mounting against them. And it was inevitable to me that the Seahawks are going to win. It was just I didn't expect it to be that big. One thing I will say is with the Charbonnet injury, obviously it's something that sucks and you hate to see, but boy, did that open it up for Kenneth Walker and anybody who, some people play fantasy, so they already know. It's like Kenneth Walker could be the bell cow. He could always be the bell cow. It's not a thing of, like Charbonnet is taking, it can do things that, Kenneth Walker can't. He's a more power runner, but there are some runs that Kenneth Walker made happen that I don't think Charbonnet would be able to make happen. Some shiftiness, some things that he was able to do. So I don't think that necessarily puts them at a severe disadvantage, just because depending on how they're going to use Kenneth Walker going forward. Like I said, there's some runs and some home run ability I think that Kenneth Walker may have that Charbonnet may not have. So we'll see how they adjust to it. That's the biggest loss that they took from this game, is losing Charbonnet. But overall, they really stepped up. The last thing I'm gonna say, then I'll let us move on, is you gotta give credit and you gotta shout out Gray Zabel. And I wish I could do like a cut up. Gray Zabel has been amazing, and he's a dog, man. And I know there's no chance at offensive lineman winning offensive rookie of the year or anything like that. Right. But he's been one of the best. Yeah, he really has. And people don't realize that the running lanes that he opens, just the difference that he makes getting to that second level. He was amazing in this game. He's been pretty good all year. So yeah, I'm excited to see him. And look, Alex, I know you love the big guys. I had to give him a shout out. But yeah, it's just fun to see. So I'm looking forward to seeing them in that D line them in their O line against the D line of the Rams. So yeah.
Oh yeah, gonna be a good one.
Paint scraping right there. That's what's coming. Talking about Zabel, I think he made the all rookie team for this year. He was one of the guards.
From North Dakota State too, man.
North Dakota State.
Yeah. How about that?
Powerhouse program if you follow FCS.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
I mean, I think they win a natty like every year, or at least they're in there. So
definitely running. So yeah, definitely. I had to give him a shout out. I know he doesn't, offensive linemen don't get a lot of love, especially interior offensive linemen, but definitely got to give a shout out to Gray Zabel. He's definitely a star.
Yep.
Be sure protector of the year.
It's crazy that the Seahawks have only had to play their divisional opponents in the playoffs. I just kind of realized that.
Yeah.
And they played the 49ers the last game of the regular season, so they just got to sit around and
play divisional games the last few months.
That's wild, man.
It is wild.
They know each other so well.
Oh yeah.
So there's a small margin of error either way. Man. But in this one, they just, like you say, they were the Niners had the mash group out there. These guys were rested, healthy, and they brought the heat once.
The mash group.
They did. They were depleted, man, and it just showed once that D got going, and that, like say, the 12s got revved up in there, it was game over right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And David, a quick fun fact about this: Jarrett Stidham was actually supposed to be the heir apparent of Tom Brady.
Yeah.
What?
Clearly, you see how that worked out. They drafted Jarrett Stidham to replace Brady.
Didn't he go to Vegas to be with McDaniel?
Yeah, he was there with us.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, McDaniel took him with him, and then he ended up with Sean Payton.
Sean Payton.
Yeah, we will get to that, but I got a feeling that Jarrett Stidham is going to surprise a few people. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think they're going to have a really button-up game plan for him to be successful in this game, especially with that defense. So the Patriots did not sleep.
Manage the game. Manage the game.
Just don't lose it. Just don't lose. Don't CJ Stroud.
Yeah. Well, they got the O-line to protect him. So I mean, hey, you give any quarterback that's in the NFL, getting to the NFL is one of the toughest things to do. You give a quarterback that's in the NFL time. Any quarterback will pick you apart if they have time.
If they have time.
Yeah.
Agreed. Okay. All right, so we'll move past the butt whooping of the weekend, but let's talk about
a snoozer. That was a snoozer.
I will say though, shout out Rashid Shaheed. That has to be the key move at the deadline because I mean he has been a game changer, especially later in the year. I mean, what does he return like 3 or 4 kicks in like the last? I mean, 5 weeks of games. Like he's been on a good tear.
He's been the only one to return a punt and a kick this year in the whole entire league. That's crazy.
And everybody's looking for one of those.
Absolutely.
I mean,
hey, he didn't do anything else in the game. But
he didn't need to. He won the game himself.
Yeah.
His touchdown was the winning score.
He is modern day Devin Hester.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
You remember what he did in the
what's that joystick guy too? What's that joystick guy?
Dante Hall, man, the X Factor. Come on.
That's it. Okay.
Come on.
Good stuff. All right.
Josh Cribbs.
Still got nightmares.
Josh Cribbs.
Yeah. He didn't get his lights turned out by James Harrison in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He won the same after that.
I always think of the league with Josh Cribbs when he's with the Make-A-Wish kid to try to like
I remember that. I remember that.
Interception, Josh Cribbs. Josh Cribbs don't do that.
Third person. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Oh, man.
All right, so the barn burner. We had 2 OT games this week. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
But Rams and Bears violator. Tell us how you felt about this game. What was your takeaways from this particular matchup?
Ooh, let me wrap up.
Yeah.
You talk about frozen tundra.
Yeah.
This was it. 18 degrees with a wind chill factor in the single digits, if I remember.
You're right.
These 2 defenses that were grinded out. This was basically a defensive grinder out for those guys that wanted to see balls flying in the air. Wasn't going to happen too much that day because the ball's so damn hard.
Mm-hmm.
And this, my key points was that the Rams defense, like I figured, was going to be dominant in this game. And they made Caleb earn every throw that he did. He earned it.
That's for sure.
Hell yeah.
Basically they were running back and forth, trading punches for 4 quarters. And, Caleb does his 50-yard off the back foot, like we were talking about, wasn't on platform, off his back foot, 50-yard burner right in the corner, to his receiver to tie the game. That's when it got interesting to me. 18 seconds to go. I'm like, we're going in overtime in this bad boy. So in overtime, of course, the Bears get the ball. They go down. They're very inept in moving the ball. So they end up, I think, punting the ball. No, I take that back. He threw an interception. And so the Rams got a second win, and you could just see it in Coach McVay's eyes and Matthew Stafford. They kind of looked at each other like, if we don't do it now, we don't want it. And I'm like, they're playing just basically managing the game. But he threw like 3 great passes and that one by Puka Nacua that put him in field goal range, man. I'm like, game over. And that's all they wanted was to get in field goal range. And what's this guy? Mevis?
Yeah.
Take your kicker, baby.
Brother.
Baby. Yeah.
42-yard needle right down the middle. And I'm just like, man,
250-pound kicker, dude.
250-pound.
Well,
we had one too now. So
you
Janikowski,
had a much better one. I will give you that.
Yeah, Jano was no little guy. Trust me, he looked like a D tackle to me. But
He did.
Hey, if that was his skill set, that was his skill set. So, but basically, it was a heavyweight fight, and like I say, the team that made the mistake at the end, it cost them. That interception sealed the game right there. Like I say, so when the Rams got the ball back, they didn't care about how much time was on the clock. Stafford just methodically moved them down the field. Simple little plays, but all they were trying to do was get in field goal range. Once they got in that guy's range, hey, bring him out, and he did his thing, man. But brutal ending for Caleb, like say a Cinderella story, but his glass slippers turned into a pumpkin. And like I said, they got to look forward to next season. Don't know if there'll be any changes, but I'm sure they're going to show up probably the receiving corps. I mean, I thought they did a good job, but like I say, they missed a lot of passes. Some of his receivers dropped a lot of balls that could have helped them sustain drives, man. But the Rams, as much as I hated to root for them, they are a scrappy bunch of guys, man. And like I said, it all came down to coaching because they were questioning some of Ben Johnson's calls during the game, key situational calls.
Mm-hmm.
And, I had a friend of mine from Chicago call me up during the game, and they were like, why does he keep trying to give the ball to the little running back? And they were like, you got DJ Moore, just get him the rock. But anyway, like I say, they can lick their wounds during the offseason, man. And the Rams, that Seahawks-Rams game, they're gonna have to put new decals on all the helmets after this one.
Yeah. Ron Burner, that's for sure.
It's crazy that both those, the Broncos, Bills, and Rams, Bears ended in the same way. With the team that driving, not driving, punting. The Bills or Bears throwing a pick and then field goal, but. Yeah, I mean that was definitely one of the most. I mean that was I think the most exciting game of the divisional round for sure.
Yeah. It was, very competitive.
I thought it was done the minute Caleb Williams started running backwards, and then he made that throw, and I was like, "WTF did I just see?"
Right?
Yeah. The only criticism.
No. Go ahead, Coach. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the only criticism I had about and I understand this is the Bears game and this is what they do, but there was, I want to say, I don't know if it was the first or the second quarter, and the Bears were in field goal range. It was the first quarter, matter of fact, because I remember we talked about this last year about leaving points on the field, or last week
first
about
drive.
Yeah, on the it was very early, and they go for it on 4th and 2 and clear field goal range, and they throw an interception, and it's you just left points right there, and that could have that could have won them the game.
Set the tone, dude. I was like,
let's set the tone. Yeah, and I'm like, all right, you just outcoach yourself.
There we go. I texted I got a couple buddies that are Bears fans. I was like, well, at least he's getting his interception throw out of the way, and then it's like, he had 2 more.
Yeah.
I don't know, Cookie. If I disagree, I think his weapons are fine. I just think that we talked about C.J. Stroud a little bit earlier. I think if Caleb had C.J. Stroud's normal accuracy, and C.J. Stroud had Caleb's off-platform ability, they both be elite quarterbacks, top 10 quarterbacks in the league.
No doubt.
Hard none. Because Caleb misses some layups, but his off-platform and his special throws are next level. And C.J. Stroud, all his layups are good, but his off-platform and his special plays he can't make is a deficiency. So they just both need to maybe work with each other in the offseason and teach each other how to, quote-unquote, do those things, and maybe they'll be better off.
Weren't we talking about Caleb last week, how he's so dangerous when he's off platform or when he's
yes.
And he shows it all the time.
That.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
I think that's what makes Caleb such a scary quarterback down the line and I mean that in a good way. Scary as in he has the potential to be otherworldly, because he does the things incredibly well that you can't teach. You can't teach a guy to run backwards 10 yards and throw a 50-yard dot off his back foot. You can't teach that. That's God-given talent. And if he's getting those plays down, and if he figures out the to Coach's point, the easy layups, the check downs, and he gets that accuracy on point, coupling that with the ridiculous play potential, I mean, dude, we talked about that division being brutal. He might make that division his bitch if he just keeps doing this.
That's for sure. You
I
right?
mean, they got the right coach pairing. So I mean, they answered a lot of questions and checked a lot of boxes this year. It's how they build off of that, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
And the defense is pretty good too. That
and listen, with them fixing the offense last offseason, all they got to do is spend their draft cap on their free agency money in defense this year, make that defense side of the ball elite. Because I think Dennis Allen did a bang up job with what he had, and that pass rush was way better than I thought it was going to be. Ramp that up, get some more guys in the building, maybe another safety, maybe another edge rusher, and let's go back to work. Let's go back to work.
Their biggest problem was just against the run because they were just having to bring 5-6 guys. I mean, consistently to stop the run, and it didn't. And TJ Edwards got hurt last week too, which didn't help.
That brutal injury.
When I was watching, I'm like, man, if they just had like one more solid linebacker and didn't have to do all that, like they would be a pretty scary defensive unit.
Agreed. Because Jaquan Brisker played in the box a lot.
Yeah,
as the 8th man.
And he's like a ball hawk, and say he's a guy you want back there, but they can't really afford to do that.
Nope. Viola, you want to say something?
No, I was just saying there's some good linebackers coming out in this draft. So
it is.
The scouts do their job. They should land at least one or two.
I agree.
Depending on how many they want to bring in.
It's a really good edge rusher class too.
Oh yeah.
I think they got like
Ruben Bain.
Yeah, we ain't gonna last that long.
That's
going top 10.
I would hope not make it past 9.
I don't think he'll make it past 5.
Yeah. I don't think he would make it to 9, but I would hope for God he doesn't go further than that.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good stuff. All right. So let's talk about the teams that unfortunately lost. So we do a segment each and every playoff round in regards to who to teams that lost and what they're going to do to improve. So in the segment we like to call where do they go from here? So we got the Bills on the docket, we got the Texans on the docket now, we got the Bears, and we got the 49ers on the docket in regards to who's eliminated now and starting to plan for 2026 season. So let's start with the Bears since we just talked about them, Dub. What do you think they need to do? Because we kind of highlighted a little bit here, in recapping the game. So what do you think their priorities? What do they need to do to, improve and get back to where they were or improve further down the line in 2026?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Really, it seems like they got things figured out on offense. They really got the formula down last year where they built up that offensive line in the offseason. I think they can redo that whole thing and maybe tighten up that defense front seven. They were really good at forcing turnovers this year. So it seems like they're pretty solid in that aspect, the DBs and the secondary. So I'm not sure what their free agency situation is looking like, but I would definitely want to run this back with as many people as possible, bring back as much as possible. I think they're pretty good in the salary cap range. They are really set up for the future. When you think about all the young talent that they have, especially, like I said, on the offensive side of the ball. But, they're a team that they just got to stick to the course. If I'm Caleb Williams and if I'm Ben Johnson, we're going back, we're looking at the film, we're looking at all the turnovers we had, we're looking at the game management so that we understand that we have everybody we need to have in the building in order to win. At this point, it's just about managing the game. It's just about decision-making and going forward. But as far as, where it comes to the personnel and getting ready for, the offseason, I think they have very little to do as far as, switching things up. So I like where they're at. If I'm a Bear fan, I'll be excited about this roster and where the direction of the team is going. Tighten up, like you said, on that defensive side of the ball just to try to take it from good to elite. And that gives you some more versatility. Then Caleb doesn't have to play hero ball if he doesn't want to. If he wants to, he has the autonomy to do it. Whatever works best for your team, it gives you more flexibility because if you're one-dimensional, that's when it gets a little difficult. So at this point, it's just about trying to take that next level and trying your best to build a juggernaut if possible.
Yeah, Wildcat was on that rookie deal because we're looking at year 3 and on his rookie deal. So you got what I want to say 3 seasons left before you got to pay him. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely would say that go all in, just do as much as possible to build around him and make at least a couple of runs at the Super Bowl before you got to dull out that money. Because I think we said it last week that once you start to pay these guys, the roster gets a little different. That corner you have, that edge rusher you have, that your safety you got that is expensive. You got to go. So
yeah, they're $4 million over the cap right now, so that's not too bad though.
That's not too bad.
That's a DJ Moore trade away from being fine.
Yeah, Tooney restructure. Yeah, you got some money there.
Shout out Tooney too, man. Playing left tackle again, holding it down.
Absolutely,
holding it down. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jordan McFadden playing guard for them, a former Charger draft pick that Staley screwed up. But we're not gonna get into that, But he balled out as well. He was moving people in the run game too. So get credit was due in that space. But that goes to show you when you got a good O-line coach, you develop your O-lineman that you pick, they turn out well.
Absolutely. So yeah, they can redo the same thing they did last year, focusing on that D-line. Focusing on that O-line and turn that attention to the defense, the defensive front seven, and they'll be cooking.
Indeed. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the Bills next. RG, tell me about the Bills. I mean, you clearly got a lot to do. There's coaching, roster. I mean, you got a lot to work, a lot of turnover here. So, what do you think they go from here in regards to rebuilding and getting back to the promised land in playoffs?
Yeah, first things first. Obviously, getting the head coach. Got to get that situated. Got to get somebody who's an offensive mind. You can pair with Josh Allen, and just continue. I mean, because you're going to be inheriting a fantastic offense, leading rusher, MVP quarterback, fantastic O-line. The only thing you need to improve on is probably getting a number 1 wide receiver for Josh Allen. And there probably will be some guys available either through free agency, if you want to go through the draft, although I think they probably want to go the free agency route because you want an established veteran wide receiver 1 for Josh Allen because you already have a lot of young guys kind of playing the roles beneath them. They have an excellent tight end room with Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. So everything is good there. Just, I need that 1 wide receiver 1 to really cement the offense and kind of lock them in for next year. And then the defense, man, it is brutal to say the least. Got to get some, I want to say some edge rushing presence, but cool Kev with shots to the Bills. I want to say you want to go with the edge rushing position just because it is the most important defensive position. And I know Mike Dubb has, we've kind of had a discussion about this, whether you'd prefer an edge rushing D lineman or a ball hawking kind of versatile safety. I just think that they could benefit more for some more pass rush. They were 32nd in the league in rush defense this year, which means those guys up front were getting beat right off a jump. So they need to kind of bolster that side of the ball a little bit more and really just the defenses as a whole, get a couple of linebackers. I think a couple of pieces are going to be let go. I think Matt Milano is a piece that probably should get let go. Just unable to stay healthy. And I mean, when he's on the field, he's fantastic, but it's a big if whether he's going to be on the field or not. So just a couple of guys that they've been holding on to for far too long. I think it's time to, move on. And with the new regime, you'll definitely see a bit of a turnover with this roster. But as long as you got that quarterback, James Cook is no slouch whatsoever. I think this team will be just fine. But hey, you got your work cut out for you now because it ain't no more cakewalk in this division.
No.
Not
at all. I'm not sure what Jeff Hafley and Aaron Glenn are going to do, but the Patriots are definitely
They'll have something to say about it. Yeah.
They definitely will. That's another problem. You could have been a line to saying that they let I think we said this, a couple of shows ago, that they let the Patriots usurp them in their run of dominance of the division quickly. Like it was not it was an overnight process for sure. They got into one free agency period with a bunch of money. You spent all that money in free agency, about $200 million worth, and built that defense and smashed the draft. And guess what? They're in the conference title game. So that's another one. That's another one. Okay. All right, Violet, let's talk about the Texans. What do you think they need to do outside of, giving CJ Stroud some, courage, like the Tin Man and like the County Line and Wizard of Oz. Outside of that, what do you think they need to do to improve their stock in 2026?
Well, ain't no yellow brick road. So look, here's how it is. He's going to have to either put some in layaway or hopefully he can grow a pair because the game ain't going to change. The film is out on him. They know he's skittish.
Yeah.
So any good defensive coach is going to attack him right through the A and B gap if you can get him off his spot. He's a mobile quarterback, but his accuracy is a little bit questionable when he's running. He's not really a running. He's mobile, but he's not a runner.
He can run. He don't want to run.
Yeah, he's not a threat in that aspect. I think they need to really get a couple of good running backs there too. They had a couple of big name guys there. I'm trying to think of the one that came from Cincinnati, Mixon.
Yeah, he was hurt all year. Yeah.
He can't stay healthy. And, and like I said, we know being healthy is part of it. But when you're getting paid the big bucks and you can't stay on the field, they're going to find your replacement real quick. So I think he's probably out after this season. I say they go and get some nice running backs. And he's got great receivers. He's got some good receivers. Let me retread. He's got some good receivers. And the O-line is still kind of a patchwork too, because they've been kind of juggling guys in and out of there too, especially that last game. So work on the O-line. The defense is set. Just keep them off the field so they can bring that A game every time they come on the field. Yeah. I mean, that sounds like old football talk, but the more rested they are when they come out there, they can wreak havoc. So I just get some running backs and work on the O-line and get him a pair of cojones, and I think they'll be okay.
Right. Indeed. And I think there was, again, the O-line being an issue and the fact that they were very up and down with their injuries when the receiving core. Like, they had two young guys they got from Iowa State, Higgins and Noel. Pair with Nico and Christian Kirk, that looks on paper like a winning formula. When Dalton Schultz, you're tight end, but the O-line just couldn't hold up early in the season, and I guess it literally rattled CJ's confidence. Then he got hurt. Nico with his concussions, CJ got hurt. Davis Mills had to come in, to keep the ship running and all that good jazz. So it was a very uncharacteristic, season for them. So yeah. I think they'll need to get back to basics. They don't need to change much, but they definitely need to improve that O-line for sure to give C.J. Stroud time, because they got to know at this point what type of thrower he is, and if you can't support him in that manner, he's not going to be effective.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and I'll give credit to AG for this, point too. Do you really, want to consider, paying him early, because he's up for an extension now, although you got 2 years left on his deal. I think it might be a proven year for him in year 4.
I could see that coming too, because either you prove it this upcoming season, or Mills will be the guy going forward.
Yeah, or someone else.
Somebody else. Yeah, but
right.
Mills is right on his butt cheek right now. Like, hey, you screw up again, I'm the guy. So
it just might. Well,
so they got to decide this offseason to take his 5th year option or not, right?
I think so. Yeah,
I bet they take it. I mean, I'm
sure they do. I
don't know why you wouldn't, and say you got 2 years.
2 year runaway. Yep.
I mean, that's the best way to keep the defense intact. They don't need to do much with that.
No, leave them alone. They're good.
Leave them alone. Why he's on a rookie deal? Keep that defense intact and let him keep hunting. Yeah, that's for sure. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the 49ers, AG. Tell me what they need to do outside of staying healthy.
Yeah. They got, honestly, looking at it, I mean, that's certainly a big part of it, taking the conspiracy of the electromagnetic field or whatever the hell it is that they practice right by aside. They got a lot of questions, in my opinion, for 2026. I think someone had just commented earlier. I mean, they lost another coordinator, or re-lost a coordinator, I guess I should say, to Robert Saleh, who, I mean, did turn their defense around. And I would argue, but for him being there, I don't know that they have this type of season that they had, because
I agree.
They were very, very banged up on the defensive. I mean, across the board, but especially on the defensive side of the ball, and still looked pretty solid. I mean, hell, we're in a position to have the number 1 seed. I don't know many other coaches that could turn that type of chicken stuff into chicken salad. You know what I mean?
There you go. There you go.
But I mean, yeah. So you got, who are they going to bring in to kind of keep the core together and get that same type of success? What kind of durability are they going to have out of Christian McCaffrey after the year of usage that he just had? What's going to happen with Trent Williams, who's a pending free agent and is been linked to retirement for 3+ years now. So I mean, a lot of questions there. On top, they got a lot of key contributors that are free agents. You look at like Jawan. I mean, basically all their receivers outside Ayuk, who they voided all his guaranteed money. So I don't know that I'd call that a good pairing right now. But essentially all their receivers, a lot of 2/3 of their starting O-line, some big time D linemen up front. And both their punter and kicker. So I mean, they got a lot of question marks there. They got cap space, so they're good there. But I think the big ticket items is they got to address wide receiver. What are they doing for the future? I think they probably move Ayuk and try to leverage that into some early draft capital to get a bona fide long-term replacement for Brock Purdy to build with, because I mean they're kind of aging out that first core. And now they got to get that new core to go around Purdy because they did pay him. You got Kittle, who's injured and old. Everyone else. So they got to address that. I think they got to address their secondary earlier in the draft or maybe in free agency, but definitely got to do that, as well as just solidifying their O-line. Like I noted, Trent Williams, don't know what's going to happen with him. I bet he probably comes back for one more year because he still plays pretty damn good. So, I mean, can't really deny that he strikes me as the type of guy that just Joe Thomas, started all those games and then just tore his tricep and was like, I'm good.
I'm good.
Right.
Give me the surgery. I'm out.
Enough all pros.
Yeah. But I mean, so you got Trent on an expiring contract. Left guard's a free agent. Their right guard was banged up all year, so they got 3 out of 5 linemen that they got to figure out. So a lot of things to do, but those are kind of my big ticket items for them moving forward.
Yeah, sound like a lot of work for sure for their front office. Sound like a lot of work. I mean, they drafted a lot of guys.
I think old linemen are going to be a premium around the league this time around.
Yep.
They're going to be the most seeked out commodity.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of money dealt out for O-line, as you can see. All these people being hampered or had their seasons in because of bad O-line, Chargers included. You have to spend some money. Yeah, you have to spend some money to O-line this year. Either draft them well or sign them well, and because you have to fix that ASAP.
Both.
Yes.
Both.
Yes.
And most teams are looking for free, veterans who are already seasoned.
Established.
So they're going to overpay. They're going to overpay for them.
And teams are looking at what the Patriots and the Bears did, and they completely overhauled their offensive line, spent a boatload of money in the offseason, and one team's in the Final Four. One team was a field goal in overtime away from being in the Final Four.
There you go.
So clearly it works.
Yeah,
clearly
it works. They got $30 million cap space already, so I mean they got room to work with.
And I like to believe they're going to trade Ayuk with that void of guarantees. I got a feeling they can trade Ayuk.
Trade cut, he's gone.
There ain't no way. Although looking at the free agent tackles, there are not too many good names to write home.
No.
The only one was Charles Cross, and Seattle was like, "Nope, you ain't even going to make it."
What about the Smith guy from the Colts? I think he's a free agent. I think John Smith or Joe Smith.
Braden
Smith. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
He's about the best tackle that I've seen.
That's it. Yeah, that's, I mean, literally it. Looking at this, I'm like, ooh.
It's going to be a lot of interior linemen, centers, guards.
Paid. Yeah, for sure. Indeed. Okay.
Guards finna come up.
Yeah, indeed. Okay.
Interesting enough, I'd actually like to see. Well, if I was Houston, I would try to make a call to Trent. He's a Texas guy. Just get him for a year or two. Just obviously not the long term answer, but they got a team that can win right now. So I make a call to Trent if I'm Houston.
Why not?
Houston needs to do everything to keep the defense intact and ensure that C.J. Stroud doesn't get in their way. They need to follow the Seattle Seahawks model.
Yep. I like it. Okay. All right. Good stuff. All right. So let's move on down the line and let's talk about our rolling segment called do you believe? So I got some questions for the panel here. Some first reaction questions. They do not know the answers or the questions to these answers to these questions beforehand. So I did no homework being done. We get first reactions from them. So it should be a good one, as always. So I got a good one here. Let's start with Doug. So do you believe that Kevin Stefanski was the right hire for the Falcons?
Yeah, he's one of the few that I believe could be the right hire for him. Don't forget, obviously, when he had that, a decent roster, that they were pretty good in Cleveland. He had them on the brink of, looking like they finally may have found the guy. I think he can coach. I really do. And they were just missing the roster. I think that's the opposite of what he has in Atlanta. I think he has the roster. He has the guys in the building. Aside from the quarterback situation, which they're going to have to figure out, with Penix being injured, and then also, it's still hard to get used to saying his name right. But with that,
Cap went on. Glad Cap went on.
yeah, I know. I get back. But with Penix being injured and some question marks there, that's something that they got to figure out. But overall, I think that they did make the right move. I like Stefanski there, and I think that they can really make some moves. That it's just a matter of coming through and actually performing and doing what they're supposed to do. But I think Stefanski is a good guy in the building that can make it happen.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, because David thinks they should have kept Raheem Morris. I know we talked about that before. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he turned things around towards the end, and it looked like people were really starting to come around, and I wouldn't have been mad at that. But at the same time, how they lost early on, and even down the stretch, they had some questionable games where they had big leads, and they gave them up. So, I understand the move either way. I would have understood it if he stayed. I can understand it that he was gone. But I think Stefanski can be the right guy too. So yeah, I think it's possible.
Yeah, and I think that is what Violet brought up at the top of the show. But the fact is Arthur Blank's impatient. He said, "I'm not getting any younger. I'm trying to build a winner now, and I'm going to try to go with the best guys and get me there now. I'm not waiting for a reclamation project. Yeah. We got to get this done now. Especially with having a rookie quarterback, we on a rookie deal. Cousins' deal is getting ready to expire. After them giving him the $100 million, so we got an opportunity here. So we're trying to seize it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I think people forget. Penix is what 28, 29.
28.
He's older. Yes, he is.
Yeah, so it's I honestly don't think that he's going to be the guy. And the thing is with older quarterbacks is I feel like he's gotten as good as he's going to get. At 28, 29 years old, he's probably should be in his prime.
25, but still pretty old.
Oh, he's only 25?
25? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that. Okay, yeah, I didn't know that. All right, well, in that case, yeah. They got a little bit of time, but with all those injuries, it's not too bad. So yeah, but yeah,
that part's aging him faster because he got the knee injuries. So that's aging him faster.
29 and injury years.
Right. Absolutely.
Maybe more like 35. But
funny, not funny. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's not too bad. 25 is not too bad.
Okay, all right. So we talked about this guy a little bit earlier, RG. So it is a burning question. It's something that needs to be asked based upon how they perform in the playoffs. So the Texans, do you think they need a reset? Do you believe that Texans need a reset at quarterback?
Oh, man. That's rough. And I was the one that was saying he should have been benched at halftime.
I know. That's why I was perfect.
Yeah.
That's why I was perfect.
Come on, Robert. Come on with it.
Nah, you can't reset yet. You can't. Not with the success that they've had. I read the stat earlier as well that CJ Stroud and Josh Allen are the only two quarterbacks to have made and won a playoff game in the last 3 years. So, I mean, they're doing something right. I get it. That defense is otherworldly.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think we've seen Stroud with just a little bit of protection. So let's get him some comparable protection and more than you've given him ever in his career. And let's see what he can do. He's got a great number one with Nico, got great 2s and 3s wide receivers, got a great tight end, great running back. I mean, it's just that damn O-line. And the defense, again, we already know about the defense. And
legendary.
Not enough to be said about it. D'Amico Ryans is a hell of a head coach, and he's got those boys playing. So, yeah, I think you got to ride with Stroud. Pause. And this is the time when, you're probably going to want to give him a new contract. So let's instead spend some of that money on the O-line, see how he does, and make your decision about extending him after that.
Okay. Good stuff. Yeah. Like I said, give him a 2-year runway and see what happens. Yeah. All right. Good stuff. Okay. All right, AG. I'm going to bounce back and forth since Cap not here. Do I want to give you his question or do I want to give you yours?
Both.
That's funny. So we talked about this a little bit earlier in regards to Josh Allen. So do you believe that Josh Allen received adequate blame for the Bills' playoff loss?
Come on, you should already know my answer to this. That's a big fat hell no. Hell no, he didn't get any blame. I think I was ranting about this the other day in our chat, but yeah, it baffles me how the national media is painting Josh Allen as like, he's untouchable. Like anything he does is gold, and he does no wrong in the outcome of games for his team. Because I know, like we said earlier, like basically every other quarterback in this league goes out and loses a game in that fashion and turns the ball over 4 times. Those are the headlines, Herbert turns the ball over 4 times and lost. Mahomes turns the ball over 4 times and lost. Hurts, Lamar, anyone else. But Josh Allen, you don't see that headline anywhere. It's, the Bills lose an overtime stunner, and then you got like Damian Woody on Get Up, like talking about the defense gave up too many points. And I'm like, well, what about the quarterback putting them in shitty situations 4 times in the game? Like we're just glossing over that. So he does not get enough blame for his losses. Matter of fact, he gets too much praise, I think, for the essentially just making it to the playoffs and not really doing much else outside of that. Maybe advancing 1 round, but the way he is viewed is like he's won a Super Bowl, 1 to multiple times, and that's just not the case. So yeah, he needs to get more blame for how his seasons end.
Agreed. Okay, good
to piggyback on that, you remember when Jim Kelly was playing in those 4 Super Bowls?
Yep.
They crushed him in the media, put it all on him, and of course the kicker. Yeah. But with that T-gun offense they were running, nobody was supposed to keep up with him.
Okay, good stuff. Okay. All right, Violator. This is gonna be a good one, and I don't think you're gonna see this one coming. But I'm gonna give you the to tell me how you feel about this. So there are rumblings that the Raiders are looking to make a splash at quarterback, and they seem to think Tom Brady is at the helm of this. So, do you believe that the Raiders will make a play for Lamar Jackson?
No. I don't know who put that shit out there, but I'm gonna try. I don't know who put that out there, and that's straight up clickbait to me.
Okay.
Who the hell would want to? Okay, Lamar's pushing 30, right?
Yeah.
He's close to it, and he's had a few injuries during that time. This Tiger ain't going to change his stripes. He's going to play like he plays. Here's the deal. Who wants to take that contract? And even with our 103 or whatever million we got, we need to focus on big uglies and get this young QB and put some guys around him and let him do his thing, man. Right. That's reaching for low-hanging fruit, and it gets a buzz because I've seen it all freaking day and yesterday, and I'm like, who the hell? I was
I wanted to be violated.
I did.
Oh yeah, but anyway, no, hell no.
Okay.
It's crazy too because I've also seen, Joe Burrow. They're going to trade for Joe.
Yeah, trade for Joe Burrow.
It's like every month there's some new quarterback they're trading for, and I agree with you. Like, why would you trade for the 200? It's like having the Ferrari parked out in front. Not to offend you, but parked out in front of the trailer park. Like, why would you get the $250 million quarterback and not have people to block for him? That's just a bad investment.
And but it reeks of desperation to me.
Mm-hmm.
it's like build your own. Quit going through retread after retread. Between the three of those guys, and I'm including the owner, somebody's got to have some common sense.
There you go. Okay. So, all right. Good stuff.
Hell no to Jackson.
Okay. All right. Okay. Fair enough. No way I'm paying. Yeah. Now his contract is due for renegotiation because he's a high cap hit. So the Ravens want to renegotiate it and get the cap number down. But yeah, at this point, y'all will be taking on about $50 million of his contract to be traded for him.
Right. And he's going to want to get more than Dak. Dak's getting what, 60 right now?
Yeah.
A year?
Yeah. 60 is the high.
Well, who's going to pay him $65 million, just say, a year?
He's almost got a $75 million cap hit. That's crazy.
Right. And to not be healthy the whole season. His those injuries are catching up with him, and you can see it. So he's losing that little magic runaround like he has. He don't do that too much anymore.
Yeah.
So, no. Hell no.
That's a good one. Okay, Josh Allen going to be the Dan Marino. Oh, this would get
That's fair.
It's
weird. Tyree said earlier too, like, you know, they just hype up certain quarterbacks, and it's like I said to you, Coach. It's like the NFL is so desperate for that next, you know, Brady versus Manning type saga that they keep trying to like make a quarterback, you know, make two quarterbacks that, and it's just the way that they're reported.
Yeah.
It's because even like Joe Burrow, it's like he gets so much crazy hype for really only being in the playoffs once and going on a crazy run and to the Super Bowl, to their credit, but they didn't win. But then it's like every year since then, it's like, man, no Burrow in the playoffs. There's no excuse now. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? They've only been in there once. Like,
I think Josh, you know, they say they don't pay attention to social media. BS.
I agree.
I think that pressure that just seeps in like a weak foundation. I think that pressure is on him, and the whole Superman thing. Like I say, he's got holes in that cape, man. He needs to take that to the laundry and get it sewed up, man.
That part, yeah, indeed. All right, good stuff. All right, RJ, you got anything for me?
I got a little something. Coach. A little something. All right. So, obviously, our question last week about are we going to see for the first time a all wild card Super Bowl matchup did not come to fruition. We have a 1 and 2 seed matchup in the AFC with the Broncos and the Patriots. So, gonna hone in on. Yeah. Damn it, Bills. Gonna hone in on that matchup here. Do you believe there is a chance Jared Stidham outplays Drake May?
Ooh.
Damn. Ooh. Yeah. That gave me chills, man. Ooh.
Yeah. That's a good one.
What?
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna say no for the simple fact that I can't give respect for Vrabel, and I sung his praise at the beginning of the pod and say that his defense is playing lights out and act like Jared Stidham is going to carve them up. Now, granted, you don't have film on Jared Stidham, you know, like he had film on Bo Nixon, you know, guys he's played previously. So he's very limited. But again, Jared Stidham is a backup for a reason. You know, so I would argue that although Sean Payton is a hell of a coach, I mean, I give credit where credit's due. Super Bowl winning, great play caller. You know, the Denver smashed that signing with getting him a couple years ago. But it's, you know, but ain't so much milk you gonna get out of that old cow. That's just what I'm gonna say. Ain't so much milk gonna get out of that old cow. I think he'll play well. I think it'll be a competitive game. I think he'll try to keep him in at least in the first half. But I think that between Drake May's you know, MVP like play, that defense is just really confusing the hell out of everybody that they've played in his last few weeks. I think that, you know, the cream will rise to the top at the end and say that they're going to end up winning this game. You know, especially if they can force a turnover or two from Stidham, then it could get ugly. So yeah, I'm going to say Drake May is going to be the better quarterback in this matchup. Yeah.
All right.
Good answer.
Yeah. Indeed. But speaking of matchups, let's talk about it, man. Let's get into our predictions here. So we're gonna get into our cover forecast, our predictions for the week. So we got the conference title games coming up here, both games on Sunday here. So we got the two matchups, you know, for the weekend here. So let's get our playoff predictions out. Let's talk about who we think is gonna win. in this matchup. Here's the bracket here. So we clearly got the Patriots and the Broncos and the Seahawks and the Rams in that trilogy. Two. I've risked, for at least for the sake of competitiveness, I kind of wish both niggas playing in this matchup, but it is what it is. But yeah, so let's go around the room and get our predictions on and see who wins what. Let's go first. Or let's start with AG. So let's start with the Seahawks and Rams matchup. Who do you think wins and why?
It's tough because the wild card component to it is that it's the third time that these teams have played divisional opponents and they split in the regular season, right? But they were close games, so I have no doubts that this is going to be another version of that type of game. But I think in the long run, the Rams win, and just have the veteran presence and the situational awareness in the game to make the plays that need to be done at the end to win. So I'm going with the Rams.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Tyree said the Patriots won the Super Bowl. Okay. All right. We'll see. But that'd be interesting. I think we talked about the MVP versus MVP in Super Bowl. That'd be an interesting headline.
I'd imagine the NFL wants the Patriots in the Super Bowl at this point.
They don't want Jared Stidham.
They don't want Jared Stidham.
I, for one, would welcome the Broncos making it with Stidham, because then you could say to all the Broncos fans that give Bo Nix praise, like, well, no, Stidham did it. So, I mean, he ain't that good.
Yeah, indeed. Okay. All right, Violet, who you got in this matchup between the Rams and the Seahawks?
I got the Rams, and I'm going to use coaching as my excuse or my reason.
Okay.
I think also that defense, you saw what they did to Caleb as far as frustrating him. And Seattle's quarterback is not as mobile and not as accurate, so I think they're really going to cue on making him uncomfortable early and kind of setting the tone in that fashion. The Rams, like I said, pretty much fully healthy, and I just see Stafford having a repeat of last week's game, but on a higher level, because it'll be cool in Seattle compared to Chicago.
That's for sure.
I think Stafford's going to light it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's played there, several times.
And he's played there.
Not like the 12th man's going to make that big of an impact.
He's going to shut him up. And you know how when you go in a person's den, you want to shut that crowd up. That's the whole thing. Shut them up.
So right now the forecast is a 39 degree high with a chance of rain, 54% chance of rain.
Oh, rain! Ooh,
damn.
In Seattle. So yeah, 26 degrees in Denver. By the way, clear though. Clear.
That's warm for New England, though. That's
really. Yeah, based on how they play in Foxborough, that's for sure. Okay. All right, Dale, who you got in this matchup, Rams and Seahawks?
I got the Rams. Going to be a great game. I think low scoring, actually, because the two teams know each other pretty well. I think because and really the reason why I'm going with the Rams is obviously, number one, veteran presence. I think that kind of, I don't want to say evens out, but that kind of definitely levels the playing field a little bit with the 12th man. I'm looking for, like I mentioned before, the defensive line versus offensive line. Rams defensive line versus Seattle's offensive line is really going to be, to me, where the game is going to be decided. And really it comes down to the quarterbacks and the coaching. And I give both of those edges slightly to the Rams. So I think the Rams are going to pull it out and represent the NFC.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, RG, who you got?
Clean slate here, man. I'm going with the Rams. I just think it's meant to be for them this season. This is the sort of nice bow on top of Matthew Stafford's career. He's going to walk off. I'm not saying he's going to retire this year, but he's going to end it with a MVP and a Super Bowl MVP. I just think it's all aligning for them, going with a quarterback with more experience. Seattle, it's been a great season. You got a bright future ahead of you. I just think it's the Rams' time right now. And Matthew Stafford's ultimately going to cement himself as a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, 2 Super Bowls, hard to argue.
2 Super Bowls, an MVP.
Yeah. MVP late in the career too. Yeah.
And if he gets that Super Bowl MVP, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
And has had thrown to 3 different record-breaking receivers. So, I mean, definitely a part of the equation in that, for sure.
For sure. Definitely that. Yeah, he went from Calvin Johnson to
Cooper Kupp had his crazy year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he still got Devontae.
Yeah, and those tight ends.
And he had Amon-Ra, I guess, for like a year or
two. Maybe. Yeah. Not bad at all. Well, y'all know my preseason pick was the Rams, so you know what I'm going with. I'm just hoping that we don't jinx it, because since we all on the Rams, we ain't jinxing it and putting the juju on them. But yeah, I'm riding with my boys. The Bills let me down last week because they were supposed to be in it with them, but yeah, we're gonna ride with the Rams all day.
I will say, man, if the Seahawks made it, it's only because the new pope was elected.
That's funny.
Look it up.
Yeah. Fun fact.
History repeats itself. I'm just saying.
Yes, indeed. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the AFC matchup. Broncos with the backup quarterback situation and that defense going against the hot Patriots. So
is there much to talk about?
I mean, we got to do it. Some people might have Jerry Stidham having a shot. Who knows? But who you got in this matchup, AG? Broncos or Pats?
Yeah, I'm going Patriots 100%. I don't think that's a shocker. But one thing I will say is, and I think it's kind of being overlooked, being a divisional opponent, I've watched a lot of the Broncos games, obviously hoping that they lose and watch them pull it out in the end. But I think a big factor to a lot of their success in those moments is Bo Nix's mobility. And Jared Stidham does not bring that type of quarterbacking to the table. So I'm this is going to be a very different type of Broncos offense that I don't think is going to be able to put it all together in such short notice. To flip a script like that. So really the key, the X factor, to take, Mike Dubb's Madden term there for his preview videos. But the X factor is really going to be the Broncos defense in this, and how much they get after Drake May.
How well they can hold up. Yeah.
But I don't think that it's going to be enough. So I got Patriots.
Gotcha. All right, Violet, who you got in this matchup?
Reluctantly, I got the Pats. And here's my reasoning. I think the Broncos defense will be on the field much too long, too often.
They wear them down.
And they're going to wear down like any defense does. I don't care whether you're elite or not. I think they're going to wear down in the fourth quarter. And, of course, New England has that defense that's going to give Stidham, he'd be taking a shot after the game.
Yeah, good point. So, all right, Dub, who you got? Pats or Broncos?
Got the Pats. Same as everybody else. I think it's a tough ask for Stidham to come in and do it on this short notice. I do think that the Pats are gonna, slow the game down. Well, I mean, they have a few different options for how they want to do it with that defense. But as long as Drake May doesn't turn the ball over, I think it's in their hands. So I'm gonna go with the Pats.
All right, good stuff. All right, RG, who you got?
Yeah, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, I'm going with the Patriots here. I think
I hear the excitement.
I know. I mean, it's just so unfortunate, man. Obviously, being a Chargers fan, I hate on the Broncos and whatnot, but at this point in the season, we just want to see some good football. So anytime there's a major injury like this, it just sucks the soul out of the game, and it's like the want to watch and the excitement for it just dies down so dramatically. So with that all being said, I think the only chance the Broncos have in this game is if their running backs go wild and the special teams goes insane, gives them some short fields to work with. But I mean, it's the QB. When you get to the playoffs, you need defense and you need a quarterback.
Okay.
Both teams have a pretty solid defense. I think the Broncos have the edge in that. No shame in that. But the difference in QBs now, it's way too much to overcome.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. Yeah, I should have said it. I mean, we both are, riding one side of the fence, in both these matchups. So hopefully we're not wrong. But yeah, I think the Patriots definitely get back to the Super Bowl, and that's just insane to say that they, returned to the Super Bowl this quickly after the Brady dynasty. But RJ, you called it that they were going to go worst to first, right? That was one of your hot takes.
You did.
Definitely panning out. A Super Bowl berth in year one with Vrabel? That's crazy.
Coach of the year right there.
Yeah, it got to be.
After back-to-back seasons of 4 wins, and then
back-to-back seasons. Yeah.
Boom.
Exactly.
Number 2 seed.
There you go. Crazy work.
They make that shit up.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. Can't write it. Can't write it at all. Okay. All right. So as we close the show out, we like to get a quick segment called Fourth and Final. Our hot takes of the week. So anything that is brewing you guys in you guys crock pot, on your stove, in your oven, slow cooking smoker, something you got cooking up, we gonna give y'all quick hot takes that might brew between coaching changes, hot takes what teams might do, moves they might make, anything you got brewing that's gonna pan out in the next few weeks, man. Let's break it down now real quick before we get out of here.
Jesse Minter stays.
There you go. I like that.
Jesse Minter stays. He sees the Mike McDaniel hired. No, 100% no wishful thinking.
Right. Hey, both. It's both. It's a hot take. It's both.
It's a hybrid take.
To give some actual reasoning for it, I think he sees the offensive coordinator hire, and he's like, okay, finally I have a worthy adversary to challenge, this defense with iron sharpens iron. So I really think, if Minter's like, you know what, obviously been with Harbaugh, that's my dude. We're bringing in an offensive guru who made fucking Tua throw for 5,000 yards. So if that could happen, who knows what he's going to do with our QB. So I really do think Minter and, maybe a little monetary
a little bump in salary,
swaying. A little bump in the salary. I think it would be in the best interest of all parties if he stayed.
And I would add context to that. I would say this: if the Ravens or Steelers do not offer him the job, and I got to take on the Steelers again, that I'm going to reiterate that those two jobs aren't his or offered to him, I would stay.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say I think he would stay if jobs like the Ravens, Steelers, or Bills weren't open, because any other cycle, you're not going to have a franchise with that type of stability looking for a coach. You're going to be looking. It's going to be your Arizonas or the Jets,
your Tennessees,
or So
to be frank,
So I mean, I get the allure of like taking the Ben Johnson approach of like doing interviews a few times and finding the right fit, but I don't know if there's ever going to be another
time,
top tier availability like there is.
That's why I put the caveat on it. If you don't offer me Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or the Steelers stability, then I'm going to pass and pick a job that I really want, when time comes, that kind of thing. But it's some merit to that. And like I said, the Steelers job, and I'm still here. I broke the hot take 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to double down on the fact that Brian Flores is going to be the Steelers head coach, because not only he got an endorsement from Tomlin, they've interviewed him, I think, twice now. So I would like to argue that he's going to be the next head coach for the Steelers, and he's going to be there for a while. So I think that that's happening. So that leaves the Bills and the Ravens job, and they don't offer the mentor. And it's funny to me because I feel like he hasn't been in the talking points of those two teams, but of others. Like the Raiders interviewed him twice, and a few other teams.
The Browns are interviewing him this Thursday.
Right? Who the hell wants that job over the Chargers gig? No. So I think that he pulls the Ben Johnson if the Ravens or Bills don't come calling, in my opinion. Okay. All right. Any other things? Any other hot takes? Oh, the Raiders land McDermott. That's a good one, Kukev.
That'd be a great hire for them. Actually,
that's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, hell, you again will go down as being the most well-coached division in the league for sure.
Oh, yeah. The Raiders just need to not screw this hire up, and this division will regardless go down as one of the best coached divisions.
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't screw up the first overall pick, and don't screw up the coach.
Don't trade that and get the right coach.
But see, I think the Raiders, if they truly are taking Mendoza, they got to go offensive coach.
Yes.
Offensive-minded head coach.
Joe Brady. I said Joe Brady. Although now that McDermott's gone, that ship might be sailing.
I can see. My prediction was the Rams OC. We'll see. That's
LaFleur.
Mike.
Oh, okay. But Violet, didn't you want Dayball? Didn't you want Dayball as your head coach or your OC? Which one?
I'd rather have Kubiak personally to develop a young quarterback.
I like that.
I like Dayball's mentality, that grit that he brings.
Yeah.
But I don't think he might get lured back to Buffalo.
All right, cool, Kev. Don't get banned.
He might get lured back to Buffalo.
Cool, Kev. I need you to slide me what you're smoking, my guy.
I'm saying that's not happening.
He just wants him. Hey, The Raiders fans like to dream about opposing teams' best players coming. Like 2 years ago, it was Chris Jones is going to get whatever he wants to come to the Raiders. I'm like, he's not going there, guys.
Right.
That's not happening.
It's not happening.
Well,
you
have to look at it like this, AG. You have fans that have different levels of football IQ, and some are strictly social media fans. So they don't really know shit. It just
whatever names they see. Yeah.
They take
Cool
it.
Kev ain't one of those fans. We ain't saying you're one of those.
I'm just
I know,
saying,
but I know what you mean, Violator.
I deal with them all the time, and it's just
like what?
Please, man.
Relax.
You even watch the game.
Like, Chiefs fans, we got a lot of new fans that definitely don't know football, and it's like all year you see we need to fire Andy Reid. I'm like, huh? What the hell are you saying?
Right.
You talk about hot takes. That's where I get all the
right. Yeah.
Get away, man. Get away. Get out of here, man.
You could just read off that for the segment, Violator. You'd be good.
Well, I'm just saying, but we could do that when the season starts, but they're never satisfied with anything. Or they're always split on whatever you put on the table.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Okay.
That's called dysfunctionality, but it is what it is.
That's toxic.
Toxic.
Toxicity.
There you go. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So, any other hot takes we got on the stove before we get out of here?
Come on, Rock. Drop the mic.
He already dropped one.
I dropped one. Yeah, it's gotta be Mike.
I had one, but I didn't want to. It kind of goes directly against yours, Coach, because I had a feeling the Steelers were going to hire McCarthy to keep Rodgers happy for 1 year.
That is a hot talk, though. Yeah,
I'm seeing some buzz. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it'd be the right move, but
no, it's not. Yeah, definitely not, because McCarthy is definitely not a spring chicken. That's for sure. No.
My other hot take for my team is that the Kansas City Chiefs are trading Trent McDuffie this offseason.
Wow.
Okay.
For a first-round pick.
I don't know if you're getting a first back for him. But you might.
I think they will.
You probably get a second.
He's an all-pro, three-time all-pro corner.
Is he paid? You guys paid him?
No, that's why he's going to be traded.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense then.
What about the enemy coming back? I saw something about that today.
Yeah, they hired him OC, which I think is funny because all the reports were they were fully expecting Nagy to get a head coach job, which I would assume would have been the Titans job, which he obviously didn't get. Yeah. And so but they've already hired Bieniemy. So I saw someone put I think it should be a red flag to a lot of teams how quickly the Chiefs moved on from Nagy.
Right, it should.
Probably should. I think Arizona's not going to listen. No.
Wow.
There you go. That's a hot take.
Arizona, oh boy.
I mean, hell, they're interviewing Arthur Smith. I'm like, they have no idea. Their owner's clearly like, find me the cheapest MFer you can get.
Real talk.
That's got some offensive background. Now.
Yeah.
They say, call Harbaugh. He said he wants $20 million. Huh? No. I need you to find me a coach for 2. Make it happen.
Oh, man.
Shit. I think you broke Coach.
It's like that scene in Moneyball, they're like, hey, Michael Bidwell, this is Matt Nagy.
Oh,
he's a terrible head coach, derailed the Bears, but he's only going to cost $1.5 million.
Yeah.
My God, sign him.
Oh, shit. That's a good one.
Hey, but you think about it. We just talked about owners that are desperate because of their ages. And then you got organizations that are just cheap.
Yeah.
So,
Bengals.
Yeah, the
Cardinals.
Yeah, Cardinals.
Meanwhile, the Bengals are sitting there with Zach Taylor just watching all this head coaching chaos unfold.
Probably wondering, am I next?
He's the only coach left in the freaking
the longest tenured one.
It's like watching their pet rock trying to race. It's like, you got this, Rocky. You'll get there eventually.
Come on. Yeah.
I believe in you. Let's go.
They're at the end of the line. Come on, Zach. You can do it. Right here.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit.
Hey, Cool Cav, you're right. That's why I don't believe that Rodgers stuff, because McCarthy and Aaron don't get along. I think it's a love-hate, more hate relationship with them two for sure. That's why they moved on from McCarthy in the first place and got LaFleur. So yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right. Whew, good stuff, gentlemen. Oh,
Good
man.
laughs to end the show, man.
Hell yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What happens if the Broncos win the Super Bowl? Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sean Payton is one of the greatest coaches of all time,
Listen,
and Bo
if
Nix will never stop
Yeah,
getting
that's
clowned.
what I was gonna. What happens to Bo Nix, dude?
Right.
Because
He never gets paid.
you look at a Nick Foles, Carson Wentz type
There
situation.
you go. Come
Right,
on.
yeah, there you go.
I mean,
And Nick Foles went on to get, what was it, 90 mil?
Right.
something from Jacksonville.
Completely
Yeah.
shit the bed after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You knew by the first pass that was a bad investment. I think he threw a pick. If I'm being honest,
I think it was a pick. It might have been a pick six.
Here we go, Nick Foles. Ah, shit, we did it again.
And it's gone.
Oh man, y'all on fire today. Y'all are on fire today. All right, we're not gonna hold y'all any longer, although we have a great comedic relief here for you guys at the end of the show. Oh man, so yes, if you're looking for the hit squad and need fast and need place, need time for Commanders, Chiefs, or Chargers news, please hit these guys up. Mike Dub is our Commanders insider. Alex, the real AG, is the Chiefs insider, and young RG Robert Garcia is the Chargers insider. So hit them up on their Twitter accounts or their Instagram if they have them. Please follow them on their socials. All right, and if you're looking for the NFL Nation live crew, Ref Guru for any referee questions, Violator is the Raiders super fan, or Captain Jack Rackham, who is not here tonight but here with us in spirit. Hit those guys up on Twitter. Y'all have Twitter accounts. Captain Jack Rackham has a YouTube and an Instagram account. So hit them guys up if you have any Raiders questions or any NFL questions in general. They'll be glad to help you out. If you're looking for the Lockdown Defense Sports Network, any fast, any time, any place, we're on pretty much all popular social media platforms: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. Please hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. The YouTube algorithm know we're doing big things out here. We appreciate that support. So hit us up in our socials. Please follow us on all our medias and get updates each and every day on our progress and what we're doing with the channel and with the network. So hit us up there. And if you're looking for our subsidiary channel, the Electric Shock Podcast, our Chargers only podcast channel, we're on all platforms as well. Electric Shock Pod. Drop us a follow there as well, and hit us up if you have any Chargers related questions, and we'll get that answered for you in short order. But gentlemen, great show, man. Any final words, any parting words before we get up out of here?
It's going to be hopefully another great weekend of football.
Yes, sir.
And enjoy it, y'all, because we only got three more games to watch.
Indeed. But it should be a good one. Should be a good one in E fast. No matter who makes it, it's going to be a great Super Bowl, I believe. Outside of maybe the Broncos, but we'll see.
Yeah, I was gonna say, unless the Broncos somehow win.
Somehow, some way make it. Like, Patriots just completely shit down their leg, but hopefully not. Hopefully not. But yes, indeed. So good football this week, and if we in the eastern part of the country, upper east side, we might be getting some snow this weekend. So we'll be snowed in and watching football. So yeah, so it should be
Can't
good
ask
time.
for much more.
Not at all. Okay.
Can't run to the store. Hey, I can't go nowhere.
Yeah.
Ain't going nowhere. Locked in football all Sunday long. All
Plan
Sunday
before.
long.
Poor bastard do it for you,
Yeah.
DoorDash.
I'm looking forward to free agency, man. I'm just excited about that. It's going to be some teams that come up making the right moves, and some teams that shit the bed, so to speak.
Continue making the wrong
I
moves.
also predict that we're going to see a very expensive cash flowing free agency period, because I think a lot of teams with space are going to take that Patriots model and see how much money they spend and how they turned around. So we're going to see some money flying around.
Yeah, some people
like I said, linemen getting ready to get paid.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Yes, indeed. All right, man. So we appreciate everybody coming through in the chat, holding us down throughout the whole entirety of this 2-hour podcast. We appreciate it. As always, we bring you live each and every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time throughout the NFL season. So we got this week, next week, and maybe the week after, but we'll see how things flow with the news, but we'll keep you updated on that. But definitely we'll be back next week to recap the conference title games, and get ready for the Super Bowl, man. So, all right, man. So we're going to get up out of here, man. Like I said, hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Let them know we're doing big things out here. And until next week, we'll see you then. So for me, Coach Defense, the young RG, Robert Garcia, Coach Mike Dub, Violator, the man, the myth, the legend himself, and the real AG, Alex Givens. Until next week, we'll see when we see you. As always, you got to do one thing, and one thing well. You got to step up to lock it down.